Hi, welcome back to Tax Chat with Shirley and Andrea. I'm Shirley Payne with Legal Aid of Nebraska, and Andrea Buckley is here with me from Iowa Legal Aid. We're tax attorneys and also directors of our state's low-income taxpayers clinics. If you have any civil legal issues and a resident of Nebraska, give us a call at Legal Aid of Nebraska. If you are a resident of Iowa, you can give Iowa Legal Aid a call. There is no cost to call us, and we can do our best to help with any tax issues.
Last video, we talked about filing and paying your taxes on time to avoid penalties and interest. In today's video, we'll talk about what happens if you do owe the IRS money. The most important thing to remember is that if you owe money, you should still file your tax return, even if you can't pay at the time you file.
If you file on time and you owe a balance, you have a few options. You can either pay the entire balance before the deadline. In 2020, the deadline is July 15th. Most of the time, the deadline to file and pay is April 15th of each year. You can also pay what you can on the irs.gov website or enter into a formal installment agreement. By paying what you can, this reduces any additional fail to pay penalties, but interest still accrues on any unpaid amount. If you ignore the balance, you will get a notice of deficiency from the IRS saying you owe the balance with interest and failure to pay penalties.
If you're going to owe money and you decide not to file your return, the IRS will give you an extra penalty for not filing. So file that return. If you don't file the return, the IRS may eventually file a return for you. This process is called a substitute for return. The IRS will take the income that it has on file from your W-2s and 1099s or any other income that was reported to them, and they'll calculate the interest or the tax owed without taking into any account deductions or credits that you may be entitled to. Penalties and interest may be applied as well, and so your tax balance can grow significantly.
However, there is a statute of limitations for collections. So the IRS generally has 10 years from the date the tax has been assessed to collect the tax. So there are some things that may stop that clock from ticking, like fraud, filing bankruptcy, or asking for a certain collection alternative, like an offer in compromise. Making payments do not stop the 10 years, and at the end of the 10 years, any debt that is unpaid to the IRS may be discharged.
You can also request an offer in compromise, or an OIC, to discharge your tax debt for an amount less than what you owe. You can apply for an OIC, and the IRS will look at your income, assets, and debts and determine whether you can resolve the debt for less than what you owe. This process can take a few months to up to a year to complete, and that 10-year collection clock will be on pause while they're reviewing your offer. So it's always important to talk to an attorney or another tax professional before you submit an offer to the IRS.
If you are living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have enough to pay your bills and pay the IRS, there is something called currently non-collectible status, or CNC. This is like having your taxes be in deferment or forbearance. If you prove you don't have any discretionary funds left over for an installment agreement or an OIC, then the IRS can put you on a CNC status and stop all collection activities. You will only get an annual statement saying that you have a tax balance, and the 10-year statute of limitations keeps running.
If you have a tax balance and you would like assistance with negotiating a payment plan, an offer in compromise, or help with currently not collectible status, give us a call. If you're outside Iowa or Nebraska, you can find your local low-income taxpayer clinic on the irs.gov website. Otherwise, if you're an Iowa resident, call Iowa Legal Aid at 1-800-532-1275.
And if you're a resident of Nebraska, call 1-877-250-2016. Until next time, click like, subscribe, and share. Bye.
Bye.